Hey y'all, you are tuned in to the Powerhouse Lash podcast. This podcast is my diary to the lash community where I share my highs, lows, lessons, and rants based on my lash journey. My heart is to share the reality of what it's really like to build a lash business, and I hope this episode helps you feel seen, validated, educated, humored, and makes your lash journey a little bit easier. I'm your host, T the Brand, and I'm glad that you're here. Now, let's get to it. Hey y'all, welcome back to another episode of the Powerhouse Lash podcast. I am your host, T the Brand. If this is your first time listening to the podcast, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope that you love it. I hope that you hear something that helps you learn and grow and be a better overall lash artist. So today I'm going to share about how all money is not good money, meaning everybody is not supposed to be your client. So once we do get clients who may not be our clients, how do we fire clients? This is a bit of a touchy subject, but I hope that it helps make your process of weeding through your clients a little easier for you. I have had to fire clients in the past, and it has not always been an easy thing to do. Luckily, some clients go ahead and fall off on their own when your policies and, whatever may be too much for them. But yeah, firing clients is not the easiest thing to do. So I'm just going to give you guys some tips on when you should fire clients and some best practices on how to go about doing so. So one of the first reasons that I would say a client does not need to be your client anymore is if they don't follow your policies. Now, first of all, policies are boundaries. They protect you, they protect your business, and they keep you from having some unwanted experiences. Are there clients who will give you a hard time sometime and won't follow your policies? Absolutely. But that's why your policies need to be super thorough, super clear, super intentional so that you can say, hey, this is something that you agreed to at the time of booking with me or prior to booking with me. And this is just the standard. I understand if you may or may not want to follow it, but if you're going to be here, this is what you got to do. So making sure that you have really airtight policies. I get really detailed within my policies. One of the policies that I really go into detail about is my canceling and reschedule policy. So how I deal with canceling and rescheduling is if a client needs to cancel an appointment, I ask them to do so 48 hours before their lash appointment. Now, everybody's not going to remember, oh, my lash appointment is in 2 days. Let me go ahead and cancel. So I have a text message that is automated through my booking site. I use Acuity Scheduling, and 48 hours before a client's appointment, they get a reminder text message. Now, if you need to reschedule or cancel, this is the time to do so. So I have that in place to remind my clients of their appointment, remind them that it's 48 hours before. And if they need to cancel, then that would be the time to do so. If a client does cancel within that 48 hour or after that 48 hour window, I don't have a cancellation fee. Some artists do. I don't. And my reason being is because if that client wants to come back, that sit-in fee is going to be added onto the service. And that can just really get expensive and a little taxing for people. And me personally, as a consumer, that's not something that I would want to have to pay. So I found a way to help me in the process without taxing my client. So if somebody cancels after 48 hours or does a same day cancellation or even a no-show, I don't block them or ban them from booking. But if they choose to reschedule with me or to book again, then they have to pay the total upfront. So once you go on the booking site and you pay your deposit, you're going to get a message from me saying, hey, thank you for booking. Per my policy, the last time that we had an appointment scheduled, you had to cancel same day or reschedule, no show, whatever the situation was. And as a part of my policy to rebook, you would have to pay, I'll need you to pay the remaining balance by whatever time I give them that day. and let them know, the appointment, I won't be able to hold it if this is not paid by this time, and there is no refund for the deposit. So you have to be very clear, very thorough in your policies from go, so that when you have to enforce your policy, everybody on the same page, you have it in your records to where they agreed and consented to your policies and such, so you can move on from there. And at that point, it's up to them whether they want to pay in full or move around. Now, that's not me saying that you shouldn't have a cancellation policy or anything like that. That's totally up to you. It's just how I chose to go about handling my clients with cancellations and no-shows. For my rescheduling policy, I'm very clear that, you need to reschedule within 48 hours. The same policy as the cancellation policy applies. If the client does not reschedule within that time, then they will have to pay in full when they reschedule the next appointment. I allow people to reschedule on one time per deposit. So if it's a new client and they schedule and then they're like, hey, can I come on this day and this at this time instead? Cool, I'll go ahead and reschedule it. But if a client wants to reschedule that same appointment to another day at another time, there is a $25 rescheduling fee, because I need to keep my booking schedule as accurate as possible for people who are trying to get in. All day, all night, I get text messages, I get DMs about my availability, although I have a booking site. And so my current clients, they don't have to go through the booking site to book. They can pre-book through me, and I'll go in and change it to the date and time that they requested after they've looked on my booking site. So just to make that sound a little more clear, if a client wants to reschedule, I redirect them to my booking site. Now, once they look at the booking site and find another day and time that works for them, they get back to me, ask me if I can change the appointment to that day and time. Because what I'm not going to do is be doing something, working, chilling, whatever I might be doing with my time. And then I have a client like, hey, I need to reschedule. What do you have available? Now, I got to go through my availability and pick and choose and hope for a day that might work for you. Okay, this is what's next available. That don't work for you. No, just go on the booking site, say let's vote some time. It's there for your convenience, so we're going to use it. So making sure that you actually have clients use the booking site for what you pay for it for. So after a client lets me know, hey, I want this day at this time, I go ahead and reschedule it. Now, for my current clients who don't pay deposits, I put their appointments in for them, as I said. So when they need something rescheduled, they have the same policy. They can reschedule an appointment one time. After that one time, there is that rescheduling fee, just because I'm trying to keep the schedule accurate. I may have a waiting list of people for certain days at certain times, so I need to be on it. And if you're playing all over my schedule, then you gotta come on, we gonna accommodate. So that's just that on that. So that's how I deal with that's one of my policies. I'm getting back to the point. That's one of my policies. So if I have clients who don't respect that policy or don't respect any of my policies, if they're always late, if they don't want to wear a mask, now that's just a no-go for me. You have to wear a mask when you come get your lashes done. If COVID was never a thing, you would still have to wear a mask getting your lashes done with me, because we are like way too close in proximity. You breathing in my face, I'm breathing in your face. Absolutely not. Put a mask on and we gonna make it work like that. So making sure that you're enforcing your policies. And if you have clients who don't want to follow your policies, yes, it's going to hurt to break up with them, but you have to do what's best for you and your business. So it's okay to let those clients know, like, hey, I've really enjoyed being your service provider. I hope that you have enjoyed your service. Unfortunately, we won't be able to, continue our service relationship. I have policies in place that I know may make you uncomfortable or you may not totally agree with, and I think you deserve a artist who best fits what you're comfortable with. That's just that on it. So yeah, we firing clients because they don't follow policies. Another reason that you might want to fire a client is if they don't follow the instructions or the advice you give. So lashes are a luxury service, and retention is a two-way street. The lash artist does their part and the client does their part. If you have a client, for example, who never cleans their lashes, but their lashes are always filthy nasty when they come back. Now, this doesn't happen often, but for some clients, it does. And there's just no way for you to get all of the buildup and dirt out of their lashes and off of their lash line with the lash bath that you have time to do during a service, if you do lash baths, which you should do lash baths. So clients who just refuse to clean their lashes, at some point it just gets exhausting, and it's like, I can't keep doing this. First of all, I can't keep seeing this. It's disgusting. And secondly, you're not doing what you need to do to keep the hygiene. You're not taking care of the hygiene required or necessary to keep your lashes together and to keep your eyes healthy. So I'm not going to be the reason that your eyeballs start falling out and that your natural lashes aren't growing or whatever the case may be, that you end up with some type of eye infection or something. You won't keep your lashes clean, and I just cannot. So letting the clients know, like, hey, I've against my better judge, or I'm trying to figure the words out. Thank you for being a client. I've appreciated working with you. Unfortunately, I won't be able to continue being your service provider. I do ask that all clients, keep up their lash hygiene with the tools provided. Now you're gonna have to work that out, because if you don't provide stuff, then that's a thing. You should have lash bath kits. Every full set gets a free lash bath kit from me, and then my lash bath kits are $10 if clients need to re-up on them. So you should have enough record keeping to know, okay, this client has not gotten a lash bath kit since whenever. It's time for them to get a new one if they're cleaning like they're supposed to. So yeah, it's okay to fire clients if they're grossing you out and not doing the things that you're asking them to do. Like, it's a two-way street, and yeah, no. Fire the clients who don't listen and follow what you're asking them to. Another reason that you may want to break up with the client is if they're always complaining about your work. That is a confidence killer. If every time you hand somebody a mirror, there's always something wrong, there's always a complaint, or this could have been different, or I don't like this, or are you sure about this ain't what we you don't need that in your space all the time, every time. Like, that's going to take a toll on you. It's going to make you upset. It's going to frustrate you. It might make you sad. It might make you question your work and the value and integrity of your work, and that's just not good. Now, if it's a case to where somebody's like, hey, my retention was poor, my lashes aren't lasting, then you may need to go to the drawing board and figure out what it is that you're doing wrong. But if somebody is just always complaining and, just not making you feel good about what you do, fire them as a client. They need to go find them another lash artist, another service provider. Like, we are not meant to be together, and that's okay. Somebody else will satisfy you, and you should go find them. So that's reason number 3 that I would in the client relationship. And my last reason is if they make you feel uneasy or uncomfortable. There are some clients that will come in and just dump on you. They will come in and dump all of their problems and dump all of their everything on you. And as a service provider, as a lash artist, that's just kind of a part of what happens, but you can control what you allow and what you don't allow to come into your space. So for example, I have social work background. So when my clients need to come in and vent, that's no problem for me. And I also have boundaries. So if they're venting, I keep in mind, this is not my problem, although I may be, offering some thoughtfulness or some advice or whatever. I don't have to take this with me. But if I have a client, and I have had this happen before, a client who just wants to complain about their life, and you offer something positive, like, well, it'll get better, if you just keep doing blah 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 or blah blah blah, just trying to encourage and motivate them, and they just not trying to hear it. And I have had people like shoot down the encouragement and kill all the positivity, and it got to a point to where I just stopped responding in the conversation. They talking and I'm just not listening, because I have nothing to say to you that you are going to receive, and I don't need all this negativity and negative energy in my space and while I try to work. Like, it's a no. So having boundaries, setting personal boundaries, setting professional boundaries, and not letting people just come in and sour your space. You have to return there. You have to stay there and work there. So protect your peace and protect your space. So, y'all, that is it for this episode. Firing clients is not an easy thing to do, but sometimes it is necessary for your own mental health, for your sanity, for the safety of your workplace and environment, and for the safety of your business. Policies help you keep you and your business protected, and it's important to have them and enforce them with everybody. That way, if you get to a point to where you do have to fire a client, it's not a back and forth kind of thing. You can just make it clear to your client, hey, these are the policies. We've had conversations before and it's just not working out, and it's best if you have another service provider. And that's just that on that. So I hope that something said in this episode was helpful and makes your lash journey a little easier. If you have questions, drop them in the review section. Send me a DM on Instagram at Powerhouse Lashes by TTB, and I'll be happy to chat with you. Thank y'all for tuning in, and I'll check with y'all in the next episode.